It is black walnut season again here. It's mid-October, central New York State, and that's when the walnuts fall. 2021, by a long shot, is probably the most walnuts I've ever seen fall from the sky, fall from these beautiful trees. Wherever you live in the Northeast, maybe you're seeing huge numbers of walnuts coming down. Strong encouragement, collect them. Collect as fast as you can. On the sides of roads, sometimes there's huge piles that are very easy to collect. Juan and I have been on the hunt for the last little while and collected a few 100 gallons of walnuts in husk to process. And just like we've done in past years, we need to take the husks off of the walnuts, get them somewhat clean, and then allow them to dry and cure before we eat them this winter. So we'll step you through that process somewhat quickly. So one thing we've learned over the years, and I don't know if I've mentioned this in the past, but we collect as hard and fast as we can, and we actually let the nuts rest. These are Japanese walnuts, but these are also black walnuts. And when you process them when they're completely green, it's actually a lot harder with the system that we're using than if you let them not rot so much, but break down a bit. When they get a little black and soft, they're great to go. There's going to be, they're called husk maggots, little worms that are in there. That's completely fine. These are not rotten. They're completely good to go. And so what we'll do is dump them in a metal garbage can and agitate with a drill. I just dumped a full bag, so it's 10 gallons of nuts into here. We covered it with rainwater, and you can see I'm using a sturdy drill with a 4-inch mud paddle. There's other options out there. Maybe I'll show some pictures of different things that you can use. If you don't have these tools, you can use some sticks. You can have a group of people agitate, but this helps a lot. And what this will do is stir the water like crazy and braid the nuts against one another. Now this one's been going for a few minutes, so we're ready to do the next phase. But it's okay, if some of them don't work fully, you can always send them back through for another pass. So from here, we're transferring little bits at a time of slurry and nuts in the husk. We're using our trusty milk crates again. We find that they have a perfect size to allow material and water through, but an average sized black walnut remains. We let these drain a bit and Juan takes it from here.
First, we're gonna just try to filter out as much of this sludge that Sean generates with the paddle, and just shaking the crate will do some of that work for us before we go to the washing station. This is a 3-part washing station, and we'll just go progressively towards cleaner water. The idea being that with some minor agitation, we could use a paddle or our hands. Little by little, the walnuts will get cleaner and cleaner. And you can see we've been trying different ways of filtering the water so that we can reuse it over and over again. Second bin, interacting with the nuts there. And then our final bin. And that's pretty good. There's a few nuts that I'm setting aside to go back through the whole process. A couple of husks here and there that we don't need to deal with right now. Once they're relatively clean, we'll go to the final stage of the process.
So what we'll do is spray them down with a garden hose. If you have access to running water like a creek or something along that line, you can use that. If they have big pieces attached, we might throw them right back to the beginning. They can get agitated once more in the garbage can. So again, you can see we bounce, bits fall out, spray some more. When they get roughly to around this, you don't really need to take it any further at all. And something you can see is that at every stage, we've got a container underneath to collect the water. We can recycle that by grabbing that with buckets and putting it back in the garbage can at the beginning. One upgrade that we've made this year, 100% optional, but I found this on Craigslist, is an electric pressure washer. I bought this for $50 used. I would not buy it new for this purpose, but maybe in your community someone has one. Kind of leaks, but whatever. And I'll spray. And that's as far as we need to take it. One or two last ones that might be benefiting from going through again. Of course, you can do this by hand, but boy, your hands will get sore after a while. So we'll redo those. And these are ready to go on racks.
This is the last step that we're doing with the walnuts right now. We're setting them on racks. They'll here get some sun and some air and dry out a little bit before we set them up on the stack and finish the curing process.
We can leave these like this so long as we're keeping an eye out for rodents. Squirrels and chipmunks will start taking these pretty quickly.
Yep.
We're very happy to share a few,
Yeah.
so we're not going to get intense with it and put cages over them or anything. But you can see these went on just an hour or two ago and they're already starting to dry down a little bit. We'll keep them in the sun today, maybe leave them out overnight and do that once more tomorrow. We'll talk about these racks in greater detail in another video soon. They're 2x2 racks, but you could put them in milk crates in the sun. You could lay them on your driveway and stir them with a broom. You could lay them on door screens, lots of different options. You don't have to build stuff for this to work. But we have processed about 2,000 nuts or so in the last 2 hours with the system, and it works really nicely for us. One side note here, before we started working today, Juan went and got a full truckload of wood chips. Really benefits if you can crack open an old bale of hay or dump down sawdust shavings or wood chips where you're working, then you can let the material spill out and you've got a sponge to absorb all that excess nutrient. So we'll do this today. We'll cap it with some more wood chips, let it rest for a bit, and it's right next to one of our compost piles. We can turn it in later. And yes, black walnut has juglone. It is a root exudate that kind of hurts other trees, but you can certainly compost it. Just add lots and lots of carbon. Red wigglers will get in there and eat it over time, and it will be soil by next year. That is our flow for 2021. I hope you are collecting so many nuts and processing them. It really matters. Thanks for watching.